Unfortunately, it's clear that this council does not listen, so instead I'm going to take my time to say what MAGA has stood for these past 3 weeks. MAGA stands for resegregation and racism. MAGA stands for censorship and book bans. MAGA stands for firing air traffic controllers while planes are crashing. MAGA stands for firing military veterans and those serving them at the VA, including canceling research on veteran suicide.
It's Ken Harbaugh with the Meidas Touch Network. Before we get into it, I need to share an update about a recent former guest, NFL star Chris Cluey, who was arrested for protesting the installation of a MAGA plaque at a public library in California. The DA just offered Chris community service in exchange for dropping the charges, and Chris is going to try to do all of those service hours at the library where he was arrested. I can't think of a more poetic ending. But I wanted to keep this audience up to date because, as I told Chris, his example should embolden the rest of us. We are fast approaching the point when many more of us will have to engage in acts of civil disobedience in order to stand up for what is right and just. And at least in Chris's case, if the outcome is millions of people hearing your story and 20 hours of community service, seems pretty worth it to me. So thank you, Chris, for setting an example for all of us. In the spirit of standing up to authoritarianism, I want to share the rest of my conversation with Amy McGrath, the first female to fly a combat mission for the Marine Corps. We talk about the enormous risks taken by those serving in uniform when they stand up to Donald Trump and his regime. One of my favorite Orwellian terms that has come out of the Trump administration with no sense of self-awareness or irony at all is the phrase malicious compliance. I think it was from the Department of Justice when they were frustrated that functionaries within the department were actually carrying out the instructions to the letter of the law. And it has been suggested to me that some of what is happening at Annapolis might be malicious compliance. We did a story on the cabinet that profiled Jewish alumni and especially women Jewish graduates of the academy and how they were literally covered up, literally had pieces of paper or cardboard covering the women Jewish graduates so as not to offend the sensibilities of Pete Hegseth should he happen to walk by and glance a female Jew who graduated from the academy. Now, that would be totally in keeping with the letter of the instruction sent down by this Secretary of Defense. But if it was a PSYOP, it's a beautiful example of malicious compliance because it highlights the, as you said, the stupidity of this policy.
Yeah, this is dumb. And I think that it's not just the academy, but leaders in colleges and universities, in law firms around the nation. And frankly, it's probably going to happen in businesses as Trump gets his trying to get his way on the tariffs and picking and choosing who's he going to release the tariff on or not. It's, people have to decide what are they going to die on? What hill are they going to die on? And that's what it comes down to. And if you look at something like this, you're like, is this something we can just temporarily do to appease these nutbags? And that's what they are. And that's what everybody thinks, by the way. They can't say it. They're in uniform. They can't say it. They just shake the guy's hand. Okay, fine. But to appease these nutbags, can I do something and then still run this place and do what the nation needs me to do? It's a hard call, and I think it's a personal one for everybody up and down the chain of command in these places. And, we'll see what happens. But I mean, I don't know the full story behind that particular incident, but I can imagine what's happening if you're, in charge of any of these institutions.
Yeah. It's got to be tough to weigh the importance of doing what's right in the moment and taking a stand and remaining in a position of authority and power to try to protect those who are going to bear the brunt of these policies, who might not have the freedom of action to resign publicly or make a statement or something like that. But surely you have thoughts on where that line would be drawn for you. I'm thinking of the commander of the base in Greenland, the Space Force base, who was dismissed for telling the truth, for talking about the importance of our alliance with Denmark and with Greenland.
Oh yeah, it's very courageous what she did. And the thing about it is military officers haven't typically been put in this position before, where they've had to really, in some cases, had to really soul search and figure out, am I going to put my 25, 30-year career on the line for what I know is right? Because I'm going to get fired for doing something like that. You better believe she knew she was going to get fired. And it is like the ultimate sort of moral ethical test, because it's not just your ethics, you're putting your livelihood, you're putting your career, you're putting your family, you're putting finances, you're putting potential job prospects, all on the line for something that may be a headline for a day or two. So, I mean, I can see it, Ken. I can certainly see it both ways. I really can on this, from a personal perspective. Would I like there to be more of the commanders in Greenland? Hell yeah. Do we need to support them when they do the right thing? Yeah, we do.
Hey, it's Ken Harbaugh. Check out the new trailer for Valor Media Network. Together, we can take on Joe Rogan and his Manosphere Bros and win. Click the link below to subscribe to Valor Media Network and share it with a friend. Thanks, Meidas Mighty. We got this.
There's not enough men like me who do whatever they want.
Are you sick of it yet?
Those people need to be, when we take power, they need to be given the death penalty.
The anger.
I live like a capitalist every single day, Cenk. I live as a capitalist.
The hate.
And we have a system of checks and balances. That's a good one. That's really funny. We do?
The idea that to be a man, you have to be a bully.
Fuck you!
We should be better than this.
Females don't have independent thought. They don't come up with anything.
Our kids deserve better than this.
It's like women want equal rights when it's convenient, but then they still want the door open for them.
So help us change it. Subscribe to Valor Media Network, where you can find shows on sports, men's health, and patriotism without the resentment and division.
True strength is about discipline, resilience, and service.
If you've wondered where all the positive role models are, especially for young men, check out Navy SEAL Dan Barkov and Commander Bobby Jones as they share stories of service and sacrifice.
Being good at being a man is about what you do for others and not what you do for yourself.
Listen to Jason Tander and co-hosts Ravi Gupta and Adisu Demisi give you the inside track on the politics of sports.
I just want to take back what I said about the Bills. No, because in all honesty, your team seems to have gotten the vaccination thing right. Okay. My team seems to be struggling with it.
These shows and many more from Valor Media Network prove that you don't have to be an asshole to connect with young men today. Subscribe to Valor Media Network today. Where can people find you, Amy? Tell us about your new project with our mutual friend, Denver. We'll put all the links in the show notes.
Yeah, I started a new media show podcast called Truth in the Barrel with Denver Riggleman. Denver is a former, as you know, former member of Congress, Republican. He being center right, I'm center left. And we felt like this was a time that there needed to be more truth out there to counter the bullshit. Okay. And we're going to do it with a little bit of whiskey. All right.
Is
so
that,
a little bit of
Denver
whiskey.
Vintage?
Well, this is Buffalo Trace from Kentucky. So I'm here in Kentucky, right? The home of bourbon land. And Denver, of course, owns his own and operates his own, while his wife operates a distillery and Silverback. And so in Virginia. So we're going to bring a little bit of whiskey theme to this and really talk about what is truth and bullshit right now that is going on. So really excited about that.
Cool.
We launched it about a week ago.
Yeah,
and I also do Instagram videos. So.
Oh, hey! Thank you for reminding me. We're running short, so I'm only going to get to one of these. But we had listener questions come in. One comment appreciating the short, informative federal budget videos that you do. I was not aware. I'm going to have to go check those out. And then this one, which I know you get all the time, but I'm going to make you uncomfortable for a second. Would you please consider running for a government position again? We need you.
Well, I appreciate that, and I will certainly consider it in the future. Don't know when, but at some point in the future.
Okay. Keep us posted, Amy. Always good having you. Thanks for joining us.